So before you decide where to move right here in North County, San Diego, you gotta check out these 10 neighborhoods that most buyers overlook. Let's get into it right now. So the first few are gonna be coastal locations. The first one we're jumping into is coastal Oceanside, and it's a neighborhood called Fire Mountain. This is just north of the 78 freeway, just due east of the 5, sitting in the corner right there of coastal Oceanside. You're sitting about 5 to 7 minutes to some of the best beaches, like not well-known beaches, but like little local spots as you are, you're right by the coast. So as you move down here, as you live in Fire Mountain, you're gonna find some little spots. You're not, you can go to the harbor, you go to the Carlsbad beaches as well, but as you go straight out from Fire Mountain towards the coast, there's some hidden little spots, there's some hidden little beaches. Sometimes on high tides, the beaches are even gone because it goes all the way up to the houses. But as far as beach access, this one is going to be one of the closest we share today. And then you have a few choices if you're looking date nights, going out, downtowns. You could go north to kind of that downtown Oceanside area that's seen a ton of change over these past few years. We've made a ton of videos on that, so go check all those out. What's going on down there, there's new hotels, new restaurants, new shops, all kinds of stuff. So some people in Oceanside, especially longtime locals, aren't digging it because it's kind of changing a lot, but it's adding a lot of new amenities within the area. Or you can just shoot south to Carlsbad Village right there. It's just across the border going into Carlsbad, so you're super close to that as well. Also, not too far away, kind of right north of the 78 where this neighborhood is, there's a big shopping center. So you got everything and anything you need in there.
So for each of these neighborhoods today, we're going to talk about the location, we're going to talk about the lifestyle, we're going to talk about the amenities, and we're going to talk about the price points. So for Fire Mountain, lifestyle-wise, you're looking for a little bit more custom. This is definitely a spot for you. It is a hilly terrain, so there's some cool views, you got some ocean views, but this is not one of the cookie cutter, just tract neighborhoods that we have a lot of here in San Diego. This is gonna be bigger lots. This is gonna be a pretty wide variety of different size homes. It's a lot of ranch style homes too, so if you're looking for single story, there's a bunch of options. So it's just kind of got that custom, laid back, kind of still very coastal vibe here in Oceanside.
And it's kind of tucked away. You're not gonna, it's not main streets. You're not gonna find it, too much traffic going through there. You do have the freeways, but those are on the outskirts of the neighborhood. So right through there's only like 1 or 2 cut throughs. Everything else is kind of, you have to go search for it to find all these areas. And so we already hit you with some of the amenities with the shopping, the beaches, obviously all that's right there. Easy access to the freeways, really close. But I was just chatting with one of the dads who plays on my son's soccer team, and he lives up in Fire Mountain. And he's always got, he shows up to practices and such. He's got his truck with his big rack on the top with like kayaks and surfboards and all that kind of stuff. So living that ocean lifestyle, getting out in the water, doing all that kind of stuff. He also goes to Goat Hill, which is a little golf course up there. I actually just golfed up there, let's say last week, I think. Fun little course. It's in between like executive and large course, but it's a really good vibe up there. Over the last 2014, they came in, revamped it, making it a destination place for a lot of people living in Oceanside. So if you're into golf, go hit there. It literally took 3 hours. I shot one of my best rounds, 83. I mean, like, it's a smaller course, but still, I was pretty proud of that. But yeah, there's a ton of amenities, like we mentioned. I think the biggest amenity is kind of what's going on in that downtown Coast Highway area of Oceanside.
And so for price point in Fire Mountain, you're looking at a starting price of about 1.2 million. A lot of that is because there are not a ton of, actually there's not very many at all, townhomes or condos. It's almost all detached houses. So we're gonna show you some areas where you have a little bit more affordability. And then 1.2 up to about 2 million plus. So there are some homes, those larger homes with views, are gonna be a little bit more expensive. So if you're looking for a coastal town with a little bit more space and some character, Fire Mountain might be the one for you. So this one's even closer to the ocean. This is west of the 5 in South Carlsbad, and this is San Pacifico. It's a neighborhood that a lot of people don't know about. It's as close to the ocean as most neighborhoods get in Carlsbad because there are some areas where you're a little bit more set back.
Can you walk to the ocean?
Yeah, you can walk to the
Definitely.
ocean, yeah, pretty
Cross
easily.
the train tracks, you're kind of right there.
Exactly, safely cross the train tracks, yeah. And a couple of options too. You can go to campgrounds, you can go down to Ponto, so there's a couple of beach options there. And just super convenient too. There's a lot of stuff around, which we'll get into a little bit more. Just the other day, I went to Pelly's to pick up food, a great little seafood spot, fish market. Definitely worth checking out.
And one reason I did want to bring up this neighborhood, first off, we have some clients looking in that neighborhood. So if you guys are watching this and you're living in San Pacifico, you guys know something coming up, let us know. We got some clients looking in that area. But also, we have a longtime viewer here. He's like, watches our Carlsbad videos. He always makes comments of, you guys never talk about this area, never talk, we're talking about Aviara, Calaveras Hills, or, all the other areas. So I want to make sure we threw this in there. But As far as lifestyle in there, it's kind of like resort style living. It is it's a mix of townhomes, condos, single family homes. Some of the condos are, they're detached condos, so it's just smaller. It's a little tighter in there. You're gonna have some gated communities in there. You're gonna find some great amenities with tennis courts, basketball courts, pool areas, all that kind of stuff right in there. Obviously right within the coast too. There's also some walking trails around there. I know we filmed on a few of those, overlooking, depending on what area you're in. Obviously those homes are gonna be much more expensive where you're looking over the coast down towards Ponto. Awesome up there. And then so you have those detached condos, and then you have a little section of basically twin homes, so you're sharing one wall, and then you have the single family detached homes, which are a little bit bigger, a little bit more yard. It's still kind of tight in there, but all in all, it is a nice, well-kept master plan community.
And then as for amenities in San Pacifico, really close to town center with grocery store, a bunch of shops and restaurants. So that's super convenient, but really quick to get to the company stores up off Palomar Airport Road. Costco's up there. If you go to the south, you're really close to Encinitas. So you've got the Targets and Home Depots and all that stuff right there too. Community amenities. So a lot of the communities have their own pool, tennis courts, all of that stuff. A basketball court. You have kind of your amenities right built in the community.
And location wise, you said amenities. Do you think it's closer to go to like Carlsbad Village or down south to Leucadia?
Leucadia,
yeah. Which is one of my favorite kind of downtown strip areas right in all of North County, San Diego. It's where a ton of restaurants, date nights, all that kind of stuff is right down there. And then for price points, you're super coastal. So we'll get into, later on, we'll get a little bit less on the price point here. So if you're looking for a little bit more affordable, we're gonna show you some of those neighborhoods too. But townhomes, condos, some of them are like anywhere between 1.5 to 1.8. You're gonna find some out that range, but the ballpark. And then for single family homes, you're looking at 2.2 plus, which is somewhat affordable for being that close to the coast. So if you're looking for a little bit more bang for your buck, you're looking for that coastal lifestyle, kind of that resort style where you have the trails going around there as well, this might be the spot for you. Now we're gonna get into a little bit more inland, a little bit more suburban lifestyle. Some of these, like I said, are gonna be more affordable as well. This first one is actually a mix of kind of that suburban, but you do find a little bit of rural out there. And it's one of the vlogs that we just recently made, so go check that out. If this area of Vista, northern section of Vista, it's called the Foothills. Like I said, a little more rural, a little more spread out, but location-wise, you're like 25-ish minutes to the coast, so you're a little further inland. You're only about probably 10 to 15 minutes from Vista Village, which is like downtown, the Main Street area of Vista, which we'll get into what's down there in a little bit. Just north, well, not just north. This is one of the areas where you're actually a little bit further off the freeway. So the 78 freeway cuts through Vista. This is a little bit out of the way. So one of the cons up here, a lot of side roads, which I kind of dig side roads, but growing up, I remember we had family friends back there just going through all these side roads, kind of getting lost back there. I know my way around now. Growing up, you kind of learning all that stuff, especially if you're going to be moving here, you're going to find all these side roads. So anyways, there's no real main roads, which does add a little bit to the quietness back there. But yeah, the freeway's probably about 10 minutes away or so.
And as for lifestyle of the foothills, you're getting a lot of space. So that's kind of the name of the game out there. If you want chickens, if you want a spot to store a boat or an RV or something like that, a lot of these
My brother lives out there.
And does both?
He's got all that.
Yeah.
No boats, just RVs, chickens, dogs, all that kind of stuff.
So if you are looking for a little bit more space, if you're looking for a lot of character, a lot of the homes are going to be custom. Even some of the older little neighborhoods that were built kind of as tract neighborhoods still have that custom feel because they have changed a ton over the years. It's not super walkable. That's one kind of drawback. There's a lot of windy roads. There's no sidewalks except for like short little stretches. If you're looking for kind of that quiet, rural feel, this is a great spot.
And now this is not within a HOA, so there's not, HOA amenities within here. But as far as amenities surrounding there, like I mentioned, Main Street and Vista, awesome spot. If you guys are exploring Vista, that could be your central area starting point, and go, search out from there or hit us up. We can show you, where to go, what spots to go check out. There's a few breweries in there. There's coffee shops. There's great restaurants. There's a theater in there, all kinds of stuff. So anyways, that's all like Vista Village, Main Street. Kind of right nearby as well is the park we grew up going to a lot. My dad played softball growing up. So, just beer league softball or whatever, but Pringle Terrace Park over there, 4th of July's. They got other events up there. They have frisbee golf?
Yep.
Disc golf, however you want to call it.
Don't call it frisbee golf.
I'm gonna call it frisbee golf. So they got that over there. And then nearby, just kind of right out of the foothills, you're gonna find there's like brand new Sprouts over there. It's one of my favorite pizza places. If you're coming from a lot of different places, you're like, this pizza isn't good. But Upper Crust is right over there as well. There's a really good Mexican market over there as well. So go get some carne asada, all those fixins in there. Awesome little spot. But all those are just right on the outskirts as well.
So what are you looking at price point wise here in the foothills? You're looking at about 800,000 is gonna be your starting price point. Almost all detached houses. So that's gonna be definitely a little more affordable in the first couple spots we showed you.
It might be need a little work.
Yeah.
If you want to put a little elbow grease, a little sweat equity in, that's kind of the 800 price point.
Yeah, and it goes up to about 1.3. There are some outliers in there, but that's kind of the average of homes in the foothills. If you're looking for space, a little bit more custom, a little bit more rural, the foothills is a good option.
And before we get into the next one, if you guys are thinking about moving out here and you like some of these areas, you want to explore these areas a little bit more, go download our reload guide. You'll find it in a link right down below. And it's got a breakdown of all these neighborhoods, all these cities, some of the top neighborhoods within these cities. You can click in and get our local area guides as well, and gives you insight into places to eat, coffee shops, parks, all that kind of stuff. So go get your reload guide downloaded and hit us up if you got any questions.
Next up is another neighborhood in Vista. This is Shadow Ridge, which is a big master plan community. Location-wise, it's just south in the 78. It borders San Marcos and Carlsbad, so kind of in that triangle, which is great for location just because you can get to all the amenities Vista has, all the amenities Carlsbad has, and all the amenities San Marcos has very, very quickly. So Shadow Ridge is, if you're looking for kind of that master plan feel in the city of Vista, it is a great spot.
And we helped a client move to this area, Shadow Ridge. We've helped a few, but I remember one was through this YouTube channel, maybe 2-3 years ago, probably 4 years ago now. But anyway, shout out to Marcos, and you know, they're digging the area. They came from out of state, they came from out of town, not knowing much about the area. We were able to help dial them into this area, and they're digging it. And so what's the lifestyle and vibe up there? Once again, big master plan community with a bunch of different villages. So if you're looking, it's all similar style, so there's not a ton of character like the foothills that we did have. But if you're looking that master plan, kind of well kept, a lot of community space. It's all surrounded by a big golf course, which is Shadow Ridge, which is a country club. So it is, you know, entry fee, all that kind of stuff, or initiation fee. But some of these houses have gorgeous golf course views. And it's centrally located right in Vista, where you are somewhat coastal. Location-wise, you are probably 15 to 20 minutes to the coast. It borders literally like Carlsbad right here to the west. You have more Vista to the north. To the east, you just have San Marcos. So it kind of sits in this little sweet spot where you're gonna get great weather a lot of the time. You're gonna be somewhat coastal, but you're not gonna be paying those super coastal prices.
So the sun came out, as you can see, which is not great for filming, but it is nice because it's supposed to rain again tonight. We're getting sick of rain here
in San Diego. Yeah,
I know.
It's rained one day. We're like, okay,
yeah, we're over it. Yeah. But for amenities in Shadow Ridge, there is a kind of a central town center with grocery stores, restaurants, coffee shops, all that stuff right in the middle of Shadow Ridge. But like we said, super easy to get to other amenities. Ton of breweries, so right down Sycamore Corridor.
The Sycamore Corridor.
There's a ton of breweries down there. You've got Aztec, you've got
Pure
Booze
Project.
Brother, Pure Project, a whole ton.
We go to all these, but like when we're trying to say it on camera, we're like, oh shoot, what was that one?
Yeah, Belgian Beaver has a big
Nailed it.
brew pub over there that's awesome and definitely worth checking out. So
Booze Brothers, did you already say that?
Yep,
That's a really good one. Yeah.
Yep. So there's a ton of breweries. That's one of the main amenities in Shadow Ridge. There are also parks. There's some trails at the Rancho Buena Vista Park. So there's some cool amenities in Shadow Ridge.
Now price points, the bulk of it is going to be single family homes, but you're going to find some townhome slash condo communities. You're looking at like 600 to 700 for townhome condos, so price point much lower than a few of the other spots. And then as far as single family homes, you're looking at 9 to 1.2. Maybe some, like I said, there's a few different areas where you're gonna find above that, a little bit below. But for the ballpark, that is what you're gonna get in there. And so if you're looking suburban, you're looking a bunch of choices, you're looking centrally located, where you're coastal enough, but you're not paying coastal prices, this might be the spot for you.
So if some of these areas are checking some of those boxes of what you're looking for in San Diego, or maybe some of the ones we're gonna get into in a little bit are, definitely get that conversation started. It's never too early. We jump on with folks all the time that are looking 6 months from now, a year from now. So let's get that conversation started, and we've got your back when moving around here in San Diego.
Next up, we're going to San Marcos. We're going to an area called Discovery Hills, and it's just south of the 78 freeway. It's by an area called North City, which in some of our other videos, we've mentioned this area. We started our San Marcos, one of our San Marcos vlogs in the heart of this. And North City is a huge area where they're building out a ton of infrastructure, a ton of new new townhome condos, new amenities, new restaurants. It's gonna be the new downtown of San Marcos. There's a new Kaiser, we'll get into all that. But this area is located, it's a little bit further away from that. And Discovery Hills has been here for quite a while. Like I said, just south of 78.
What you're looking at lifestyle too is well established. It's been around long enough where everything is grown in. There's a ton of trees. There's a really cool Discovery Lake kind of right in the middle. It's kind of like a pond, but it's called Discovery Lake, which has a cool trail that goes around it. And then you can go into trails in other parts of San Marcos. So definitely a lot if you like walking. There's a ton of sidewalks. It just has that kind of like get out of your house, go get some exercise, go get some fresh air in Discovery.
And even though it's a master plan community, there's no HOA in there. So some of these other ones, I don't know how they built it without an HOA, but nonetheless, there's no HOA, so no HOA amenities, but also you're not going to be worrying about that too much. And then amenities right in there. I think, like I said, North City that they're building out is going to be one of the biggest amenities in San Marcos. It's going to add to traffic. It's going to add to congestion. But Discovery Hills, once you get through all that off Twin Oaks, it's set back enough where you're going to be all right. Discovery Lake, like you mentioned, if you got kids, we used to bring our guys out there, hop on the scooter, do a lap around the lake. Super fun. I'd hop on the skateboard and kind of follow them around. If you go up the hill too, there's access to Double Peak, which is a beautiful viewpoint at the top of the hill, which is in one of the neighborhoods we're going to cover here. But there's trails going out through there. You could shoot down. There's trails connecting to like Lake San Marcos, which is another community. There's trails connecting up to that Double Peak. So there is some area to get outside. There's also the little Ralph's, I think it's a Ralph's, right?
Yeah.
Right there, Ralph's Shopping Center. What's your favorite breakfast burrito
Mr.
spot?
Taco 2 is
Mr.
over
Taco.
there. Yep.
Mr. Taco 2. Pizza Bar is another little spot in there. I've been to.
Starbucks, if there's not enough of those.
Starbucks. I think all the areas we're covering, we could safely say there's a Starbucks within 5 minutes. But yeah, so anyways, a ton of amenities, and I think it's just going to continue to grow. There's a new park being developed right in that North City area too. They just redid this. It's called the Creek Project, so added some trails around there. So anyways, ton of development going on there and continually adding to the amenities within this area.
And then what you're looking at price point wise in Discovery is that $1 million mark is going to be that starting price point. All detached houses. For the most part, there's a couple of little townhome neighborhoods, but not true Discovery Hills. And it goes all the way up to about 1.4 is kind of the average as well. And so if you are looking for, didn't really talk about it, but the homes have a little bit more space just because it wasn't built in the 2000s where they shrunk all of the lot sizes down. You do have a little bit more space in your yard. If you want to get out and trails super easy, Discovery Hills is definitely a great option. Next up is a neighborhood near and dear to my heart. It is San Alejo Hills, which is located just east of Carlsbad. Actually kind of lives going west towards Carlsbad and Encinitas. And then to the east you have Escondido, other parts of San Marcos also. So this is a master plan community in San Marcos on the newer side, built in the early 2000s and on.
Now what's the lifestyle up there? It's all about community. It's one big master plan community. They built it out. There's a bunch of organized community events in the park down there. What are some of them?
So they do movie nights, they do beer, Oktoberfest, all I think was the free beers at Oktoberfest. They do an Easter event, they do Halloween. Some of these events changed after COVID, but they do a lot for the community.
And they also have, it's like a big trail system. So you got that all walking through that. It's kind of one of the amenities. I still his, but it's also a little bit walkable. So if you want some of the condos in this little downtown area, it's small, but there's enough stuff to, there's a shopping store, all that. We'll get into that in a sec. But if you want walkability, there are certain areas that are super walkable. You want to walk the kids to school, you want to walk, you just want to get some exercise and walk around. That's kind of like the vibe right there. And like I said, it's community, so everybody, a lot of people in this area are going to the same school, all that kind of stuff. So you kind of know your neighbors a lot. And it's just a cool vibe up there.
And then as for amenities, Chris kind of touched on it a little bit, but the town center has a ton of, not a ton, but a lot for a small community. Restaurants, there is an Albertsons grocery store down there. There's a couple.
Favorite restaurants?
I'd say we just went to Sapporo last night, with sushi place. So that's definitely one of our favorites. There's Sets, which is kind of like American food. Lourdes is definitely one of my favorites.
Good
Mexican food. Yeah. Shane's little pizza spot right there. There is Aloha Ana, which is a great acai bowl spot right there too. So a lot of
Little beer
amenities.
spot.
Yeah, exactly. You got Lost Abbey.
And even though it's within an HOA, you're not really going to find HOA amenities. Now there's a little HOA park. There's a big park in the middle, softball fields. That's where we play. But there's no pool, tennis courts, pickleball courts, none of that kind of stuff. And weren't they going to build it?
Yep, they've
They
tried
never
it.
did. So anyways, that's not there. But you have all the trails. I think it was one of the biggest amenities is the trails. I've been running a lot in recent years, and a lot of these areas, finding new trails, new spots. A lot of them are just like literally outside these little neighborhoods. Go to the end of the cul-de-sac, you're gonna find like a little trail. Go up, you're gonna find big trails on the top. So anyways, plenty of areas to get out and about. They're all suburban trails, right? Like you're not like going out into the woods or anything, but there is some actually at the bottom of the hill where you kind of feel like you're not seeing any houses, like Copper Creek down there, that kind of stuff.
Even the top kind of going out into one of the neighborhoods we're going to talk about soon.
Yeah. All right, and price points, there's a couple things. Like I said, right in the town center, that's where you're going to find most of the townhome condos. There's also a few up the hill a little bit, but for the most part, townhome condos are going to be sitting like 800 to 900, give or take. And then once you get into single family detached homes, with all of these master plan communities that we mentioned, there's going to be different neighborhoods, so different areas as they built out different phases. You're starting at like 1.2 as a starting price point in there, going all the way up to $2 million plus. Once you get on top of the hill, gorgeous homes up there. What's the neighborhood called? The Estate. Beautiful views. Vanishing edge pools, like some of the best views in all of North County.
Pools.
Yeah.
Because you're going off into nothingness.
A giant Santa during
Yep, we'll see that soon.
during the holidays. So anyways, if you're looking like full master plan community with great like local amenities, this could be a spot for you. Next up on the list is an area, I don't know if we've ever brought it up in this channel.
Probably once
or twice, but it's Rancho Penasquitos. And growing up here, it's called PQ. So it's just off the 56 freeway to the north and south. So 56 kind of cuts it in half. And it's a bigger area within the city of San Diego, but you don't say you're living in San Diego, you say you're living in Rancho Penasquitos or PQ. Bunch of different types of houses. This is probably one of the biggest areas we have on the list today because it's kind of its own community. And location wise, you are a little bit further from the coast. So you'd shoot down the 56 freeway. You'd probably end up in like Del Mar, maybe go north, go to Solana Beach, something like that. You could go to Torrey Pines just to the south. So you have some options, but you're still looking about 20-ish minutes, 25 minutes maybe. And then you're just north of Mira Mesa, and then you're just south of like 4S Ranch. So you're kind of right there, 15 freeways, not too far as well. Actually, it kind of butts right up against the 15 freeway on the eastern portion. So easy access to freeways if you have to travel for work, if you're moving down here, and once again, it's all suburban here. So if you're moving down here and you got to work in Sorrento Valley, you got to work in some of those other areas, Kearney Mesa, Poway's, Rancho Bernardo even. This is like a great little hub to be in.
What you're looking at lifestyle wise in Rancho Penasquitos is just a little bit more mature neighborhood. So houses have been there for a while, landscaping's all grown in, a little bit larger lots than some of these other master plan communities that are a little bit newer that we talk about. And so that's a big part of the lifestyle.
Now jumping into amenities, it's not like a destination, right? Like some of these other coastal areas, you're gonna find like downtowns, main streets. Yeah, this has its central shopping, that kind of stuff where you're gonna find your essential needs. You do have some great outdoor amenities. Just to the north, you have Black Mountain. So I went and hiked there, I don't know, probably about 2-3 months ago now. And it's just, overlooking, you can see a ton from up there too. It's kind of like Double Peak, but a little bit lower. And then just down to the south, you have the big preserve. So the preserve goes like all the way from the 15, Big Canyon going down all the way to the 5, probably goes to the coast, I don't know. But it's a huge hiking area. You can get out there. On a map, it doesn't look like, it looks like, oh, you're just right near these homes. But when you're in there, it's kind of cool. There's like a hidden little waterfall, and I guess it's not hidden anymore, but there's actually a little waterfall in there. You do have a little creek running through there. So anyways, you do have some opportunity to get outdoors.
We actually just had our Christmas card photos taken there for the first time ever.
Oh, there you go.
In that area, in part of the preserve. Okay. On one of the outskirts, there's a little farm. So yeah, pretty cool spot. And what you're looking at price point wise for condos, you're looking kind of in that 600 to 800,000, super affordable when you're looking at condos in San Diego. And for detached houses, you're looking for like 1.1, 1.7 for kind of that standard home in Rancho Penasquitos. And if you are looking for just a little bit more affordable, a little bit more lot size than Carmel Valley, Rancho Penasquitos is a great option. Next up is a community of Escondido called Harmony Grove. It's going to be kind of on the west side of Escondido, just east of San Alejo Hills, so you can drive through there to get out to Harmony Grove. And it's another master plan community, kind of right in the middle of nothingness. It's like built in a canyon. There is not much around it, so it is kind of on an island.
It didn't make the next few that we're gonna do after this is gonna be like a little more rural. And it didn't make the rural list because, yeah, it is master plan community. It's like new builds, you know, within the last few years.
Big parks, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's gorgeous in there, actually. It's really pretty.
So the community itself has a lot of amenities. There's events. Definitely a big, kind of has that community feel for sure in Harmony Grove. But to get to kind of your grocery store, to get to shops and restaurants and stuff, you have to leave Harmony Grove. There's nothing right in town. So there is no town in Harmony Grove. It is literally just housing. So you're going to Escondido to the east. There is Target, you've got Dick's Sporting Goods, you have a ton of fast food restaurants and Home Depot and all that stuff kind of just to the east. And north you have Stone Brewing is right there, so one of our go-tos. So definitely amenities close by.
And price points up there, you're gonna find a few different styles of homes where you're gonna find a little bit more, I don't know, if you guys have seen our videos on Bresci Ranch, it's kind of similar where you're gonna find like some tighter homes with like alleys and some stoops, and you know, and then as you go up the hill, you got the bigger homes, bigger yards, pools, all that kind of stuff. But price points are looking at like 1.1 to 1.6. And then if you are looking for master plan, you're looking for newer, you're looking for actually some gorgeous views in a lot of these places, a little bit of trails, and you don't necessarily need that coastal feel, this could be the spot for you. Next up on the list is going to be Eastern Encinitas. It's called a Livin. And we've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know about this place, and I think it's awesome. It's where this guy grew up, and obviously a lot has changed. There's been a lot of building since then, but anyways, you're on as far east in Encinitas as you can go. There's actually a road that will pop you into Escondido, so it's like right on the border right there, but it's like rural Escondido. So how far? I mean, you could probably get Harmony Grove straight through there.
Yep.
Pretty quick.
Not legally, but yes. You can.
Well, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But anyways, yeah, a Livin, it's out there a ways. It's basically, if you go Encinitas, you're still in Encinitas, but you're probably about 15 to 20 minutes to the beach. So yeah, you're in a coastal city, but it's not necessarily that coastal feel. It's definitely a little more rural out there.
So lifestyle in Livin is going to be wide open space. Big lots, a lot of the areas are going to be 2-acre minimum, so a ton of just that space on your own land, like where you can put whatever you want. We see a lot of tennis courts, we see a lot of pools, we see other sports courts, all sorts of things in Livin. If you're into horses, there is a huge equestrian scene in Livin. There's a couple of big major barns that a lot of people take their kiddos to, or adults go to ride. So if you are looking for horse property, Livin is a great option.
Now there's a few amenities within Livin, one of them being trail system. So it was built out as an equestrian area, so you're going to find a bunch of horse trails, nice big wide trails. Some are like right along the road, some are tucked in behind neighborhoods and stuff. So I go running back there a lot. I love it, finding new ways to go, new ways to connect these different little trails back there. It's pretty awesome. So
just watch your step.
Watch your step. Yeah, definitely some not cow patties, some horse patties back there all over the place. The closest like shopping center is Harvest Ranch, which is right outside of Livin, and it's got your little market. It's got a really cool little wine bar. There's a good little
breakfast
spot.
A
chain, but yeah, a little breakfast spot up there. Anyway, so there's a coffee shop opening apparently there.
There's also a champagne bakery.
Yeah, that's the chain bakery.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I think there's a few champagne bakeries, but new coffee spot. We'll see when it opens. Anything opening in Encinitas takes like 10 years. There was just a place open that I know 4 years in the making. 5 years in the making. Yeah. Chicken Hawk. So, anyways, it's now open.
Might have closed last week.
But the coffee place, there might be a new coffee spot in there. So that's right there. And then you're super convenient to El Camino Real, and that's where you have everything else you need. On one end you have Target, on the other hand you have Trader Joe's. In between you have medical offices, other restaurants, other grocery stores, everything you need. So that's like a 10-minute drive to all that. So while the amenities aren't within a Livin, you're like pretty darn close to it.
The price point for Livin is kind of starting at $2 million plus. So, and plus is way up there. So there's properties up into the 4s, 5s, and 6 millions. Just depends what you're looking for. There is a little townhome community off of Camino del Norte, which is going to be more affordable than that $2 million mark, but it's only a handful of homes. So, but if you are looking for more space, privacy, peace and quiet, if you're looking to have some horses on property or have horses nearby, Livin is a great option. Next up on the list is Bonsall. This is a community just kind of straddles the 76 freeway. So on the kind of east of Oceanside, south of Fallbrook, west of Escondido is a cool little community, a little bit more rural, a little bit more on that kind of equestrian farms, all of that stuff.
Old school.
Yeah, old school feel in Bonsall.
Now, when you get out to Bonsall, you're thinking like lifestyle. You're thinking more rural, certain areas. You're thinking more, you know, space, kind of like that Livin. Price points are going to be much more affordable in this area. Like I mentioned, the kind of that old school feel. You don't hear like it's a smaller community, so there's not a ton of people moving there. There's not usually a ton of homes for sale. So and people, when they move there, a lot of people stay there for a long time. So you don't see a ton of turnover. But as you're going through some of these areas, you're going to find some rolling hills. You're going to find a lot of space. You're going to find some, you know, farmland out there still. So it's just like a different vibe than a lot of these suburban communities we've gone through already.
So as for amenities in Bonsall, not a ton in kind of Bonsall proper, but there are some grocery stores and markets and restaurants and all that. Just going up north a little bit into Fallbrook, there's some cool little restaurants to check out. And then you are right at the 76 freeway, so if you need to get out east to Escondido, there's a bunch of amenities there. If you need to go west, you can get to Oceanside pretty quick, and there's a ton of amenities right off the 76. All your big box stores and stuff are all kind of in that neck of the woods.
I was just looking up. So how far to the from Bonsall? This is giving me like Bonsall, but like right on the 76 freeway. So if you're living a little bit, because it goes east a little further, but Bonsall to the Oceanside Harbor, and you're looking at, let's see if we could bring it up. I don't know, 26 minutes or so to the coast. So even though you're a little further out there, you're a little rural, if you still want that coastal vibe, it's not a coastal vibe out there, but you can get to the coast within 30 minutes.
Well, and 76 too is not, if it was a freeway, you'd get there even quicker, but there are it's a highway, but there are lights at big stretches of that freeway too. So it just takes a little bit, or highway. So it just takes a little bit longer to get to the coast.
And now most of Bonsall is single family homes, but price points out there, you're looking at like 900 to 3 million plus. There's some big properties where you get a lot of acreage, so that's kind of one of the factors that comes into when you're looking out there. How much property do you have? How big's your space? How is it built out? How big's the house? All that kind of stuff. So once you get some of those bigger ones, yeah, there is, like we said, it's more affordable, but there's still some of those bigger properties out there. But if you want rural, you want space, you want to be kind of quiet out there a little bit, Bonsall could be your spot. And so if you guys are thinking about moving to San Diego and some of these places are on your list, or maybe not, you want some other areas, hit us up. I'm Chris Erickson, we got Cassie Lewis, and we are the Livin in San Diego crew. You can see it, we're rocking the gear today. But hit us up, we'd love to earn your business and kind of dial in and help you figure out which areas are gonna be right for you.